V Show, powered by Island City, where the beach meets the streets, where right here they put on the only personal development radio show coming from a Polynesian brother in Hollywood, broadcast from Dash Radio Studios, where iron sharpens iron, together we rise. In this episode of the Coach V Show, whether you're listening on the Dash Radio app, on Facebook Live, or on YouTube, just know this: we are humbled and juiced to have Brother Gawtti from the Boo-Yaa Tribe share his success, his life, and his life lessons on this show, where he'll be talking about how he got an opportunity just to see his older brothers grinding in the industry and trying to make a way to making millions, signing contracts, doing 24 city tours here in the United States, going to New Zealand. It's a very inspiring story, not from a Polynesian standpoint only either. Because he's Polynesian, that makes it enticing for a Tongan brother in the audience it is that I have, but even more so from a human perspective, that, as he says, if you put God first and family along with culture, that was his message to the world that he's going to be sharing on this show. You put that first, everybody got a chance to do what they want in life, leadership, and business. Whether you succeed or not, we will always have those things. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Coach V Show, powered by the Island City Media Group, where the beach meets the streets. And now a word from our sponsor.
Soles is more than just for saving your floors. It also prevents heel bruises and pains from unbalanced cleats.
Hi, my name is Daniel Bruckner. I'm a private practice pediatrician here in Southern California, as well as the chair of pediatrics at Providence Cedars-Sinai Tarzana Hospital, and a good friend of Wendy's and also the pediatrician of her children. And I'd like to take this time to support her product, Soles. I think it's an amazing product that will benefit children greatly. And every day we see kids come from soccer practice, things like that. They don't want to take off their cleats, so they come in, and I've seen accidents, I've seen sprained ankles, I've seen hurt heels, and I think that this Soles product will really help prevent those from happening, not only as a pediatrician, but also as a consumer. I can't wait to get the product for myself and for my children. I think it's something that should be owned by every athlete across the country, and I really hope that everyone goes and buys it and enjoys it. Thank you.
Soles will have memory foam and TPE mesh that will wrap around the cleats. After showing my product to my professional friends, I realized one thing: this isn't a product people want, it's a product people need. Soles, taking you from the cleats to the streets.
Welcome to the Coach V Show, your Hollywood radio show for personal development with expert insights and interviews to help you, me, and we work to be our best and live our best life. Brought to you by Island City Media, where the beach meets the streets, right here on your personal development show, where iron sharpens iron, together we rise. We are blessed to have one of the greats that I grew up listening to growing up in Pomona, California. We have Brother Vincent Devoux, known more so by his entertainment name Gawtti, is part of the globally known hip-hop group, the Booyah Tribe. The group also consists of his older brothers, Godfather, Kobra, Monsta O, Ganxsta Ridd Murder One. Godfather is the visionary and leader of the group, created the concept of having a live band accompanying their show, as well as incorporating live singing and harmonies. Their fresh show idea helped set them apart at the time from a typical DJ and rapper set, catching the attention of several music industry executives, and would eventually lead to their first major label, signing in 1989 with Island Records. Under Chris Blackwell, the same man to discover Bob Marley, Booyah Tribe has been praised for years by many of their colleagues and peers in the music industry as being innovators and pioneers of their rap genre. Throughout their tenure, they would explore different areas within the entertainment business, as well as, for example, Gotti's small yet very memorable role in the blockbuster film, The Italian Job, alongside Mr. Mark Wahlberg himself and Charlize Theron. The brothers ventured into other businesses over the years too, delving into worlds of tattoo artistry, clothing retail, restaurantpreneur, a private security detail, cannabis, and most recently, music artist management. Music is still their passion. However, with the recent loss of two founding members of Booyah, rest in peace, Godfather and Ganxsta Ridd, they've decided to exert their energies into helping mentor the next generation of Polynesian music artists, with a few projects on the horizon near completion that will serve as the odes to their brothers that have gone on before them. They also look forward to sharing their stories, their memoirs, and a highly anticipated documentary slated to be released soon. Welcome to the show, your boy, Gawtti Devoux. Gawtti, welcome from Las Vegas, man. Welcome for making time to be on the show.
No problem. What's up, Coach V? Thank you for having me, and I appreciate the honor. It's an honor and respect.
Nah, thank you, and shout out to brother Joey Kenga, who goes by his legal name, brother Q, who connected us. How are you and Q connected? I'm assuming I know, but tell us a story about how you and Q are connected, Gawtti.
Q has been, we're connected from back home. Back in California when he was doing his podcast with the barbecue show, and
Yep.
And when we met up, and it was just like when once we connected, the vibe was always good with Q, man. He's always been solid, good brother, good entrepreneur, just good at heart. So when real recognize real, you always gotta grab that, with someone with good vibes, and just and you want to be around people like that, to uplift, and it goes both ways. And ever since then, me and Q have been connected, and it's like a brotherhood.
Yes. So along with your brothers, Gawtti, brother Big Paul Tuivai, who we share the last name, and we never knew really how we were related, but because he was successful and I was somewhat successful, we claimed each other. Come on, Gawtti, right? Yes. So rest in peace to those guys. And did you cross paths a lot with those guys as well, with brother Paul, your brothers, and Q, right?
Yeah, Big Paul, rest in peace. He was also like a consultant and a mentor to me and my brothers, because he was in the industry, but he was involved in the industry, like in the business side. We were the artists,
Yes,
he was there, moving. Just once we seen another Polynesian, it was like, we got introduced to Paul. It was like I said, it was brotherhood. You know how our Polys get out. You see one,
yes,
so it was the respect, and just seeing him around the realm of, and making deals with, with Cash Money. He was over there, and see, a lot of people don't know that, and and Paul always gave us that advice. Like when we did this, when we wanted to go independent, Paul gave us that advice. He was always there, always open ears. He'll come to the studio and listen to our music, and just, and just give us that good vibe of, of us learning the business, because at that time we were just artists, but we wanted to learn the business also, about doing a label, doing the independent label. What if we go independent? What if we go back to a major label? Paul always gave us that, good, that good consultant that he was. He's dearly missed. We really missed him, and
yes,
got to keep his legacy going also.
Yes, sir. So Gawtti, please introduce yourself. You could start in any way that you feel appropriate. And I would love to also just tell your story, Gautti's story from Genesis point. Where were you born? Or you could start professionally. Please introduce us. I went through your bio, but I feel like from what I've heard, there's so much more. Like, where did you grow up and all that? Could you share that with us, please?
Yeah, born and raised in Carson, California. My childhood was in Carson, California, born and raised. Parents, were ministers of the AOG, Simone AOG Church. and just grew up in Carson, Carson was the Mecca at that time, where a lot of Samoans came from when they came from Hawaii, and when the Fita came from Samoa to Hawaii, to a lot of people came to Carson because of the jobs of the shipyard and the docks and a lot of military. My dad was in the Navy, so born and raised, and 6 brothers, 1 sister, and I have a huge family. So in my family, there's a lot of us. We don't say cousins. My parents taught us to say brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so my parents come from. Both of my parents are from the village of Pango from American Samoa. And just born and raised in Carson. Went through the church, and then just seeing my brothers, before me. I learned a lot from them. When they started the street dancing, and me, I was young. I wasn't part of it. My thing was I was just sponging up everything they were doing. And especially when they got to the street dancing, to the music and business, I always just kept sponging, just learning. That's all I was doing, and that's what you got to do is, a lot of people want to be bosses and all that, but you want to be that person that want to learn, to put you in that position.
Yes, sir.
So my brother Godfather, he was a visionary. He was always ahead of his time. He thought different. He thought out of the box, took a lot of risks, and there's a saying, there's a risk, there's reward. And that's how I just learned off of him and my older brothers, and just kept going with it, and just, and I took that platform into what I do now in business. And now is, me and my brother Kobra and, my brother Monsta still alive. And we just try to keep our other brothers' legacy, just keep it going. And, besides the music, we have other pillars that we opened up, with other business partners, and just take care of our family, man, and just keep the legacy going for the next future, for the next generation.
Yes, sir. And so, Gawtti, talk to us about what the times were, like mid 80s, early 90s. Talk about growing up in Carson and really the struggles that you had to overcome as a family, going to Assemblies of God in Carson, right? I know a lot of very talented brothers I know the Uyangalele brothers. We went to Ganesha High together.
Yes.
And they're Assemblies of God. Boy, they were like the Samoan Jackson 5, right? I mean, talk about the struggles of growing up in the church, growing up Samoan, being in Carson. That's not an easy neighborhood to be back in those days, right, Gawtti? Talk about that life lessons that helped pull you guys through, Gawtti, please.
It was, it was a struggle, because in them days, either you're gonna play football or sports, or you're gonna go the other route, and gang bang or dope dealing, So, us coming from the church, my dad, we learned our music from the church. My dad just all of a sudden, when just put instruments in front of us, okay, you guys can learn how to play this. But I came from a talented family. It came from, my dad's side of the family, ancestors, all my uncles, and they all grew, all pastors in church. So, from American Samoa, Pango to the mainland, music was in my family. As a matter of fact, it was in them days, we had our own school in Pango. The Miguels had their own school. That's my dad's family. And, the founder at that time was, my dad's grandma's brother, Yeti Miguel. He started his own school. He was the founder of the first Samoan Assembly of God. And then it went from his daughter to his son-in-law, and they brought it to America. So my dad, changed his life from, what he was doing. Pops wasn't, he wasn't, my dad wasn't a really a good guy. My dad was, he had his time in the crimes, so when he became a minister, and, you want your kids to grow up, and to live like Christ, man. But the thing that I give to my parents, that they planted a seed in us, no matter what we did, even when we went against the grain with the church, we still had that seed, that foundation that they built for us, that we do believe in God. You know, there is a God, you know, so, and all the prayers that they did, you know, comes down from my great grandma to my, you know, grandma to my father, just the prayers of us being alive in the city of Carson, because it was a struggle. And in those days, growing up in the 80s, I'm from the 70s, or the late 70s to the 80s.
Right.
Those times were crucial because,
Oh, yeah.
You know, because gangbanging was really, you know, you got the 70s, it was on and cracking. And then the 80s, when the crack game came, when the crack game came on the 80s, oh, it was money, and now it got worse. So us being in church, you know, there was always a saying that, you know, the pastor's kids are the worst kids in the church.
Right.
You know, so my brothers, you know, they were, you know, besides being in church, you know, after church, it was on and crack, you know, my brother Red and, you know, Monster and Cole and Godfather, they were just doing their street thing and just keep doing, you know, and family members that's, you know, part of my family too, that it was like, you know, church wasn't even in, you know, like holding the Bible and all that wasn't now. It was all about surviving and where we lived at. And it was hard at that time because especially being a poly, you know, we were trying to find our own identity because we wasn't Black, we wasn't Mexican. So what were we? So we had to start our own identity and start our own, you know, which they did. You know, the Mecca came from, you know, the gang life. You know, it started from everybody at that time that, you know, was all going to Scott Park.
Mm-hmm.
That was our park in those days, and then you had like Big John. You know, see, that's what we're missing. You know, there's no more Big John no more. Because when Big John was alive, he was for the people. He was for the community. And, you know, us waking up in the morning on them Saturdays, going to Scott Park and just, you know, knowing that we got free lunch, we're learning our culture because of Big John. And then.
And you're talking about Big John Mane
Maluna.
Yeah.
Big Frank's brother, rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
And you see Big John, he was for the community. And then when he brought the Samoan Athletic in action, it made kids to realize that, wow, I can be in the NFL. I can try to make it. There's another route.
Yeah.
You know, and then when Big John passed away, it just, you know, the community had gotten worse. There was no direction for our own kids. Mm-hmm. Everybody was all over the place, you know, and people were complaining to the churches that the Samoans were regulating on this and that, and there was gang fights and this and that, you know, and, you know, but when we had Big John, you know, we had the old team posts, you know, where you go there, you learn our culture, you learn our Samoan alphabets, you learn how to do the salsa, and, you know, you get free lunch and you learn about things in church. It was the program that Big John did for all of us. And but when he passed away, that was it. That whole gap from the 80s when Big John passed, it was free. So everybody was just doing their own thing. And next thing you know, it's just everybody left Scott Park and started doing their own neighborhood. Next thing you know, you got East Side, West Side, and next thing you know, war was going on. And, you know, then the dope game came in the 80s and it was on and cracking. And the struggle was hard, man. It was hard because you couldn't focus on, you trying to play football or you trying to do this. You know, and what saved me and my brother was our music. You know, was our music. You know, when we lost a brother in '88, that was it. You know, that was the fine line of, this is it, man. We need to go and do our music so we can get out of that, get out of the ghetto. You know, that's what we're trying to do to make it, you know, and that's what we did. And the music saved our lives to survive, and what the struggle was real in Carson, California. You know?
Right. What those decades, right? Because when you were younger, the Watts riots came through, right? That was the 60s, that was way young, right?
Yeah, that was way. That's when Godfather. That's when that was his era. When, you know, when the Watts riot, that time.
And then we had the Rodney King riots, right, down in SoCal. What was that? Was that late 80s, early 90s? Early 90s,
no, that was early 90s, yeah. We did that, and then we were part of that. You know, we went to some neighborhoods. You know, we went to Grape Street. You know, we rode the Park Village. Us and some of the Park Village Usos. You know, we all You know, we went to different neighborhoods. You know, we went to the jungles. We went here. You know, just to show our support. You know, but as Paulies, but remember, like our identity. You know, it's in those days. It's hard because you know Simone wasn't recognized of just being big and this and that, but we wasn't black and we wasn't Mexican. You know, so the Simones, you know, so the Paulies, we just started our own, and now it's generation of it. You know, and now it's just it's time to try to stop what's going on now. You know.
Right. So talk about, so would that be your life lesson, is to find something that keeps you grounded, find your why, because you refer to it as your music. I always feel like, for my family and I coming from Booyah, it's like it was faith. Our number one life lesson, because we had nothing, and faith made us grateful for what we didn't have, grateful for what we did have, and then focus on with whatever it is we had moving forward. For you, that's music. Any other life lessons from the 80s before we get into how your music started, Gawtti?
I agree with you. You know, if it wasn't for faith, you know, like you said, you know, we came from nothing. You know, and I mean, our parents, they worked hard. That was their life, their era, their generation was just to know to go to work, come with a check, and that check to pay the bills, you know, check to check, you know, but we lived on faith, you know, like just like how you and your family did. And,
Yes, sir.
but when the music got involved in ours, that's what made us survive of this is the route we want. My Godfather, we want to go this route now, you know, because we're losing too many people, family members getting killed, and a lot of my family members are doing prison time. You know, so you know my families are doing all you know going to jail for 5 to 10 years, and you know, and just that's something that Godfather was like, man, this is the way we ain't trying to go. You know, let's get this music going, and that's what made us change our whole. Especially losing my brother, that was it. It was more of it's time to really focus on this music and see what God got in store for us. And next thing you know, we're focused, and then next thing you know, we're signing to one of the biggest labels at that time was Island Records.
Yeah. And then so talk about that. How did that connect, and talk about like the grind? Because people see the flash and they see the success, but they don't see the failure, right? So I also interviewed Leroy Wolfgram from the Jets, right? Where, man, they couldn't get signed. People said, man, you guys are like a low-class menudo in the 80s, right? They got turned down over and over again. And I know, and I've heard, and I've lived the Booyah movement when I was younger, though, right? I was in junior high and all that while you guys were doing your stuff, and in high school, junior college. But talk to the audience about the struggle, how you had to persevere, and then how you got connected with Island Records, please, Gawtti.
Yeah, the struggle was hard for my brothers. They were, because in the music industry, you know, you have to get accepted. Like, you know, for a label to put money, millions behind you, and for the crowd to accept, like, oh, who are these guys? Just like you said, when the Jets first came out, when you did the interview, they said, oh, look, yeah, with us was like, oh, okay, these guys are doing hip hop, or you guys are black, because hip hop is urban.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not white, you're not this. What are you guys?
Right.
And then next thing you know, they see a band with the hip hop music. They're like, oh wait, a band? Nah, this ain't gonna work. I mean, we had doors. My brothers and them had doors. Labels didn't want to sign. Plus, my brothers looked too crazy. When they see all the tattoos, the long hair, the way they were dressed, you know, they were like, oh no, these are like some real motherfuckers from the street. Oh, sorry, but these are like some real deal. You know, no, we're not gonna sign these guys.
Yeah.
But you know, they just kept pushing. I mean, there was a lot of doors that were closed.
Right.
You know, and the grind was just all we did was just my brothers and them just kept going to Hollywood and kept doing these little mini shows and just keep doing these little shows in Hollywood, and they dominated. So the word was getting out in Hollywood. And there was a band, there was a hip hop band that, oh yeah, what are they? And people were just coming in, and next thing you know, this one little small Palangi lady named Kim Bowie walked into the old Sugar Shack in Hollywood and was like, oh my gosh, who are these guys?
Right.
See the whole show, and just like, I need to make the call. And she told Godfather, man, this is my card, and I'm an A&R from Island Records, and I love what I've seen. I never seen a band with hip hop, and with vocals and this and that, and everything you guys are talking about is all reality, is real street, And next thing you know, she made a call to Chris Blackwell, and he flew down, and he was like, "Man, sign these brothers." But the struggle was hard though. It wasn't, like you got these days now, the social media. Back in those days, the grind was hard. It was double, it was triple time because everything was labor, everything was sweat equity. You had to get your sweat on. Like we had to go here, we had to go there, we had to go to these conventions, these hip hop conventions. Like back in the days, it was called Jack the Rabbit. That's where all the new artists come and everyone's there, just to mingle and hear the new music, what's coming out, and you had to go there, you had to be there, not just, like we don't, get on Zoom or or you just email. No, everything was hardcore work. It was all footwork. But the struggle was hard, man. It wasn't easy. It was not easy. Not like these days. But thank God that he made a way that the brothers got my brothers got signed to Island Records, and that was it. It was that was the debut and start of branding the name Boo-Yaa Tribe.
Yeah. Wow, what a story. And tell me this if you agree, Gawtti. One of the things that I feel like are a misconception about success is that at some point things get easier. And I remind all of my clients, as well as the corporate companies it is that I coach, is that you never leave the struggle. You just graduate from one level of struggle to the next level of struggle. It's different. The same struggles you had, you may have alleviated or come up with solutions for that, the marketing of how to sell tickets. But then when you go up to the next level, there's a struggle there that's different that you've never experienced. Is that true or not true, Gawtti, in terms of your guys' experience?
Very true. Very true, what you just said. You just graduated from the next level of struggle, because see, a lot of people didn't know, just because you got signed, you got to go to another level. You got to sell units.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you don't sell over 100,000 units in those days, they drop you. So
right.
That's more embarrassing, because you're right. We just signed. All of a sudden, oh man, you guys couldn't even sell that much units, and so there was another thing to it. You have to sell over certain units to them to keep you on the label. And thank God that we sold over 100,000 units, So that's what kept us with Island, But the struggle, it's like you said, it just graduated to another. And after that, then next thing you got to brand your name, is getting out there on tour, merchandise, but everything was going, like you said, it was different levels of it, and then your goal is to go gold and platinum. That's when the money really comes in, So it just like you said, it's not just, can we sign? No, let's see if you guys can stay on the label, because if you don't sell those units, you're gonna get dropped.
Right.
And that's more embarrassing.
No doubt. And talk about the pressure, Gawtti, right? Like for me, bro, I'm a professional speaker, but I started speaking for free so that I could get in front of people, right? And then I remember my first $10,000 1 hour engagement for 10 grand. Gawtti, the pressure was tremendous. It's like, it was so easy when it was for free, but now there's a certain level of expectation, accountability to earn that cheddar and bring value. Is that true or not true? Did you guys experience that, Gawtti?
Yes, we did. Because when we first signed with Island Records, the first check was $175,000.
Right.
Yeah, so we're like, oh man, we're young. So what is in your mind? Oh, I want to get the Rolex, get the jewelry, get that, get the Mercedes, get this house, get that. But didn't really think about investing on, on business, because 175 in those days, it was a lot of money.
It goes quick.
It goes quick, especially when you have a big family and you got people pulling up at your house. Like, telling you that, hey, I got this business plan, I need 30 grand. If you can, and then all that pressure just comes through my, like, man,
Right.
we got to stretch this 175, it's not just one brother. We got, we have a huge family, but the pressure was there with my brother Godfather. He did have a lot of pressure of, just like you said, with the money, because when that 175 came, next you see the cars, you see the houses, yeah, that's cool. But when that thing was gone, man, you just looking around like, what's our next move?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why me and my brothers, and you live and learn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And my dad always taught us, if you don't live and learn, if you don't, to learn what mistakes you did, you're never gonna move forward. And everything that's why I say that I sponged up everything they did. So when I got into the business side of it, my goal was to make sure that I didn't make those mistakes.
Right.
Make sure my corporate structure was all 100% up. My attorneys were all locked in. Make sure everything I was safe and protected. Especially when you started all these different pillars of businesses, it was, I make sure that I vowed that I would never go back to what I've seen. And I give it to my brothers. They were young, it was before their time, and but I learned a lot from it, and and grab that to now, you have to learn from it, because if you don't, you're just wasting your time, and you might as well just go get a 9-to-5 job.
No doubt, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a major piece of business in general, right? I coach, teach, and train that if you don't have replicable steps that create replicable outcomes, you're going to be shooting from the freaking hip all the time. And people are like, wait, what? I said, so how do you consistently win in life, leadership, and business, let alone translate that success into joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, love, and family time? You better have a process that's replicable steps that create replicable outcomes. And if there's two things that has and is demanded by life, leadership, and success and business, is replicable steps and replicable outcomes in terms of time and money. Did you find that to be true? If you don't have a process for your time, when you prepare, when you're writing songs, when you're touring, when you're making money, when you're generating money and focusing your time on that, and if you don't have a process for what you do with your cheddar, come on, Gawtti, true or not true, and what are your thoughts?
Very true, man. Very true. Because that's the whole goal. If you don't have that process of your money, and it, believe me, I've seen it come and go, man.
Yes, sir.
I've seen it. To be real, Coach V, there was times that when you're up on everything and you lose everything, your face hit ground zero. That money's gone, the houses, the cars got to go back, the jury's got to get ponded or got to go. And you just sit there and, it's something that you got to look at each other. Okay, now what's our next move? And a lot of the kids, that's why I always try to teach, like my nephew and nieces now is, really get your corporate structure, get it set where you don't have to live like what we went through.
Right.
You got to teach them now because, Coach V, you're a mentor speaker. That's what you do, and the thing is, it comes and goes, man. But if that process, if you ain't on board, man, that's the hardest part, man. If you're not on board, man, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, there's just so much, right, Gawtti, that success demands. But if you're not organized within yourself, and accountable, right? And people are like, man, mission, vision statement, that shit don't matter. Yeah, but let me tell you this is what I tell my clients, right? So success and failure is the same path. So then if you have a process that's connected to a mission and a vision statement and your why and the goals that you want that are precise, then whether you fail or succeed, the next move because of your mission and vision, right? So the mission of my company is to impact how people think, feel, what they do, how they see things, and how they say things, right? As it pertains to them working to be their best and live their best life. So whether they fail or succeed, that becomes my mission. Is whether I fail or succeed, that's my next step. My goal is to make $100,000 minimum and within my company every single month. So whether I get the account or don't get the account, the next step is to work towards $100,000 that month, period. Right. So then there's like the goal is so detailed, it's so laser focused. And if we don't have a mission, so my family mission is every single day that we work to be our best, to live our best life together as a family, right? So then when we aligned and have a congruence within these things, then regardless of failure, or what I always say is that the path to success is both failure and success. So you learn from the lesson in the path of failure. You learn because the people like, oh yeah, failure taught me so much. Yeah, cool, but it still doesn't teach you the process of how. To. You can learn what the fuck not to do, but if you never learn what to do and then can do it consistently, you're never going to have a process where you can not only maximize the business opportunities daily, but then the lifespan of that success decreases dramatically. Come on, Gawtti. True or not true? And did you guys experience that?
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It's just a lot, man. But we experienced that really, I mean, man, what you just said it out of my mouth. Everything you said, Coach V, like, wow, man, I feel like I was talking to Paul, man.
Yeah, shout out to Big Paul. Yeah, go ahead.
But we did experience that, we did, and our thing was, to just trying to, our whys, like you said, our whys, like, okay, what we're doing this for? It's just to keep that legacy, but just to have the next generation to not live what, because like I said, I give it to my parents, hardworking. I mean, came from the struggle from the Highlands, came here, trying to make a better life. They lived check to check, but that's all they knew.
Right.
But, but us taking it to another, trying to do businesses and build your own pillars of businesses to be successful. But just like you said, it's, you wake up in the morning, there's either you have a choice or you have a chance. You know what I mean? It's on an individual what you're going to make of it. If I'm going to take that chance or I'm going to make the choice to wake up in the morning to see what I'm going to do. Just like how you said, your goal is, okay, I got to make that 100,000 every month.
Yep.
If you don't set those goals, just like how me and my brothers, that's like with me and Kobra do, especially in the business that in one of our partners that's our just like how you said, every month is, is we set a goal. Okay, what this month that we did that was better than last month, to keep moving forward, and try not to take 10 steps back, but take 20 steps forward, So but yeah, it was but everything you just said it's just, man, you just knocked it out of the park, Coach V.
Oh
I
man,
love hearing you. I can hear you all day, man.
No, it's all you, Gawtti, man. You lived it, man. It's a pleasure to have you here. And before, I want to ask you about memorable concerts. Then we're going to just talk about like what your message to the world would be, Gawtti. But before that, just share with us, right, this notion, because I've never hit $100,000 in a month. That's my goal, right? But man, because the goal was that high, I've hit $45,000 and $55,000 a month, right? And then so in that, I tell my clients all the time, and this is going to be the best year I've ever had, period. In my entire, I've been speaking for 11 years, and I finally figured out my process, and it's rolling and all that. But I always tell people, and tell me what your thought on this is this: it is better to shoot too high and miss, still hitting great heights, versus shooting too low, Gawtti, and hit. Your thoughts on that, Gawtti?
Wow. I love that. that's got to be a T-shirt. That's got to be a T-shirt. Yeah.
Because I feel like if I don't have these audacious goals, man, if you make 10 grand a month and you live in Elk Grove, California, my wife makes her salary every single month, that's a good life. Yeah. But if we shoot for something that's fucking, you got to stretch, you got to wake up early, go to sleep late, and you got to be relentless in that process, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you get up, you achieve more. Your thoughts, Gawtti?
Right. I agree on that, what you just said, because if you aim high, you know, and your goal and you know what you got, I mean, if you believe in that product, whatever you're selling, whatever your business you're doing, aiming high, you know, I mean, you know, it's going to come with pressure and everything, but I think that will just, like you said, will stretch the process of you being successful if you aim high. But there's a chance too, like you said, if you aim low, that I think to me it's if you know the level that you know that what you can take on, you know, to me it's, you know, because me and my brothers, we always try to aim high to just not be different, but just to be out of the box of, you know, we can do this with all the network, all the people we got, we know they're all in place, so we're going to aim high. But if we aim low, we're just low barring ourselves. That's like going into a deal, you know, you try to make a deal and they look at us probably, you know, like, oh, okay, Simone, they're probably just going to aim low. No. And I tell this all the time. I mean, if you're going to make it, if you're going to do something, aim high on.
That's right.
You know, show them what you got, show them what you know, what you believe in. You know, so that's why me and my brothers, our goal is always try to aim high on what we do. You know, and you know that's what keeps us just keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, right. And then lastly on this subject, tell me if you agree or disagree, right? And that's the reason why optimists and dreamers have a higher failure rate than pessimists. Because a pessimist, like for me, I'll be like, well, screw it. I'll just try to make $7,500 a month. Man, I make that in 40 minutes as a speaker, right? And then so the pessimist is 100% correct most of the time. But that's because of the fact that the pessimist is operating on fear and operating on shooting low because they're scared. They're not audacious. You said the word risk about your brothers, right? Talk about that. Is that true or not true in terms of your experience? And then we'll move on to the next question. Gawtti, please.
Hold on, Coach V. Let me put you on. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Perfect. Wait, what's the question again?
So right, and so that's why people are always like, V, why are you so optimistic all the time? And I'm like, well, the optimist misses and is wrong a lot, but that's because he shoots so high and he dreams so high. The pessimist, like for me, I could go, man, you know what? I want to make $7,500 a month versus $100,000 a month. The pessimist is right because he's operating on fear, but he's not wrong. He hits all the time because it's so low, but then he minimizes his opportunity to maximize success as well as worldwide and world experiences. Your thoughts, Gawtti?
Oh man, that's yeah, that's a tough one right there. Yeah, that's a tough one, Coach V. I mean, like I said before, it's just, you know, everyone else has their own way of doing their ways, Coach V.
Yep.
So like I said, it's all in the individual, how you handle your business. And like I said before, just, you know, me and my brothers, we just trying to, you know, we aim high because we know what we have and what we're doing.
That's awesome. Yes, sir.
You know, and it's not taken away from knowing that even if you try to aim low, no, it's just
right.
We just trying to set that bar that we know what we got to do, what we want to make. You know, I mean, if it's 10,000 a week, or if it's, you know, like you said, there's a number to it. But me and my brother, we just trying to aim high because we know it just, to me, it motivates us to work even harder. We're going to get to that goal.
Yes, sir.
You know, to reach it. You know, so that's
my
that's my input. Yeah, you know, but it's all on the individual, how you you structure your way of the way you want to do it of your business, you know.
That's
so
right.
It's just, you know, it's just me, you know. So
because we all have to live with the choices we make ourselves.
Yes.
So we better be good with it. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Got it. Talk about some of the memorable concerts.
Oh man.
One of the memorable times, like, is there an exact or a couple spots where you were in Texas or Vegas or Carson or Long Beach, LA? Talk about that. Got it, please.
Our concerts, oh man, it's too many. Overseas in Europe, Japan, our Asian market. I mean, the Asian, it was when we did the Lollapalooza in 1992, we did the whole United States. That was with Red Hot Chili Peppers and Ice Cube.
Talk us through that. What was that? Was that a tour? And then talk about how that went in 1992 and what you remember about that, Gawtti.
Yeah, that was 1992. That was a big tour. The Lollapalooza, that was the annual. And
Gawtti, just clear your screen real quick, Gawtti.
Okay.
We can't see you. There you go. We can see you now. Thank you. So talk about that 1992 tour with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, man. 'Cause in the 90s, they were the band.
Yeah, they were headlining, them and Ice Cube. So we toured from there. We did it like close to, I think, from all the way from New York. We flew to New York all the way to, the last show was in Irvine Meadows. And everybody was on that tour, Soundgarden, everybody, a lot of big groups. That was our biggest tour in the States.
How many cities, Gawtti?
We went from, it was like New York, we did Miami, Chicago, Texas, Arizona.
Wow.
I think it was like 20, we did like 23, 24 cities.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was it? And what's memorable about it? And then I just want to ask, like, just how touring is. Wow.
When we did that show, we did one it was in San Francisco, and Red Hot Chili Peppers did the headline. They were headlining it, and the picture is on Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
So we were in our tour bus, and we were just getting ready to leave, and then the road manager of Red Hot Chili Peppers came to our bus and said, "Godfather, Anthony wants you guys to come on stage when they do the LA song." We're like, "What? They want to bring you guys on stage?"
Right.
So Godfather looked at him, "Let's roll." So we all went to the stage, and remember when they did the LA song, we all came on stage, and Ice Cube came on stage, we all came on stage. So there was a part that my brother Roscoe, he grabbed Anthony and he put him on, he lifted him up all the way on the shoulder. And it's on Rolling Stone's magazine.
Oh, I got to look that up.
Yeah, you got to look it up. Red Hot Chili Peppers. You see Roscoe holding Anthony. Anthony's on his shoulder and holding the mic. And in 1992, Lollapalooza. It was on Rolling Stone magazine. That memorable right there. And I was in the back and I looked. I go, "Dad, I didn't know the photographer took the picture." And he's going, "Hey, it's all over Rolling Stone." But that tour was one of the memorable tours in the States. But we have a lot of memorable shows in New Zealand, in Europe, in Germany, just especially in Japan, and going to Asia, to Taiwan, Thailand. But to us, our favorite, my memorable show, my favorite was doing our show in New Zealand.
Talk about that. Back in Aotearoa, right? Come on, talk about that.
Because shout out to everyone from New Zealand, because it was, when we went to New Zealand, it was our people. When we seen Samoans, Tongans, Maoris, just everyone that's, different Pacifica, that we felt like, man, we're home. Like, they showed the love, and then just us doing the show for our people, for our Pacifica people. That was our best tour. That's what our best show, because, everyone looked like us. We all looked like each other, and just, our hearts were all the same. And to me, my brothers, New Zealand was always our favorite memorable tour, because it was for our Pacifica people, and they just showed love, man. They didn't, like I said, we always had love for New Zealand. Just doing the show and rocking that stage and seeing the youngsters, and now look, New Zealand is blowing up. Shout out to Don Raid and Andy and Brother D from Don Raid, and but just seeing our people that's what got us, that's what got us, and it humbled us when we got back to the States. It really did. Because, everyone was all love out there, not coming to the States and, there's politics and there's here, there's there, and, you weren't this color, you weren't that color. Come on. New Zealand was all love, man. All love.
That's just awesome vibes. In that, Gawtti, we've gotten to the section of the show where we're just going to just be asking you a couple of questions. We're going to start first and foremost with what your message to the world would be, according to your life experience as Brother Gawtti from the Booyah Tribe. And in that, I just want to thank everybody. If you're just tuning in, we're here with Brother Gawtti from the Booyah Tribe, and we are featuring his life, his story, and his success. And thank you for tuning in right here on Island City, where the beach meets the streets. Brother Gawtti, what would be, according to your life experiences, how old are you now, Brother Gawtti?
I'm 52.
Man, you look great, brother. At 52 years old, what is Brother Gawtti's message to the world of all your world experiences? Take a minute or two, Brother Gawtti. The floor is yours.
My message is just keep God first. Keep your faith strong. Keep your family strong. And keep your culture. Keep your culture alive. Don't lose that, man. To our young generation, please do not lose our culture, man. Keep the culture going. And those are the three things that, my parents taught me, my brothers, is, God, family, and culture.
God, family, and culture. I love that.
And those things that we can just live off of. It doesn't matter about you making the millions, you're making that. It doesn't matter. Because you can lose it all one day, but you still have God, you still got family, and you still got your culture.
Real talk.
Never, and just keep humble, and that's what I live on. That's what me and my brothers love, because we've been there, we've seen it. We've seen the millions, we touched the millions, we've seen the houses, we've seen them. But when we lost everything, who was there? God was there for us, my family was there, and our culture was there.
Yes,
we don't lose that. So as us Pacifica people, Samoan, Tongan, Maori, Hawaiian, New Zealand, let's keep your culture and just keep the legacy for the next generation to learn, to keep it going, because we're all not going to be here one day. Tomorrow I ain't promised, man. So, and love your family. Just put God first, man. That's what I look at it.
Thank you for that message. That's a powerful message. God, family, and culture. In that, Gawtti, what's a project? What's the projects that you're working on currently that you can share? Take a minute or two. And how can people get a hold of you and follow you on IG like I do? Like, what are your handles? Please share with us.
Yeah, we have a lot of projects. Me and my brother, Kobra, we're going to finish our documentary for the Booyah Tribe. We'll be finishing that with director of Esteban Oreo. He just did Cypress Hills. He did the LA Originals, and he just finished Cypress Hills documentary. So now he's going to do our documentary, and we'll be finishing that up. As far as the music, we're going to be working on one last album, for Booyah Tribe, and with all the families that and all friends of ours in the industry.
Yeah.
And with we got a book coming out. We have a script that's been we're working on to finish. We did like 10 years ago our movie script, and that's as far as the music and tribute to my brother Ganxsta Ridd and my brother Godfather, as we do the documentary and the album, the last album of Booyah Tribe. But as far as business, we have we're into the cannabis. We just did a deal with University of Texas A&M. We do their hemp and cannabis program. Yeah, and Texas University of Texas A&M with my partners. So we have a lot of pillars we're doing. We're doing a project on with the natives on tribal land. So we have a video game. We're working on projects, you know, the NFTs and you know, metaverse. A lot of future stuff we got going on right now.
Man, that's quite a list. Congratulations. That's big time.
Yeah, you know, we're keep pushing, but everything's getting ready. You know, deals are getting closed, but yeah, we're just thinking of the future. You know, especially dealing with this metaverse and NFTs. Come on, kids, our kids, wake up. That's the future, man. Really do your research on those. So that's what we're working on. We've been working on for like 2-3 years right now, and we have some huge projects that you know. Next time I come on here, the Coach V, I'll keep you updated.
Oh man, let's launch that on this show, please. Me and Q would love that. We would love to talk it.
Yes.
So in that, how do people get a hold of you? So I follow you on OBG_Gawtti, GAWTTIE on IG. But what are some of your other handles where people can connect with you, Gawtti?
Facebook, Booyah Tribe, official Booyah Tribe. You can do that. Instagram, OBG Gawtti, you know, international. So yeah, you get me on, just DM me, or that's how you can get hold of me. Yeah. I move around a lot.
That's awesome. Man, I just came back from Vegas. And so the next time I get there, I'll come over. I'm going to hit you up, man. I would love to break bread and hang out. But man, so I was at the Park MGM, and I'm just rolling around, and I'm trying to grab dinner after I had a reception with shout out to my new Duncan family, Duncan division of the Southwest region, and shout out to all the executives that I met out there at the Park MGM. But Gawtti, I ate at this spot called Best Friend. It's a Korean. Have you eaten there?
Yeah, I know that spot.
Tell me, that place is fire, huh? It's really good. Now, for those of you that have never been to Vegas and ate at one of these spots, get ready now, because the tri-tip that I had, I think, was like $87, and then the kimchi fried rice cost, you know, like 30-something bucks. But man, it is Vegas pricing, but that place is fire. Am I right or wrong, Gawtti? That place is pretty good, huh?
It's fire. Well, Coach V, next time you come, I'm gonna take you to the spots.
My man, I'm in. And shout out to my boy Wah-Woo, who came over and took me out for some dim sum. Shout out to Wah-Woo, who does all the sushi spots there at Allegiant Stadium. And then he's also the ops guy with the NBA and the NFL halftime show. And then shout out to my boy Leroy from the Jets, who came out. We got a chance, but now we're going to have you at lunch, and we'd love to connect with you too, Gawtti. Gawtti, final, what about some of your shout outs, Gawtti? Who would you like to shout out here on the Coach V Show, powered by Island City? What are your shout outs, Gawtti?
Oh, man, well, I got a shout out to my brother Q.
Yes, sir.
You know, to the Island Media family. Shout out to you as well. It was an honor having me, and just shout out to the whole family and friends that are listening, and just keep pushing the show, you know, for Island Media, man. You know, let's all get on there and just you know, let's blow it up, man. You know, got to keep helping each other, man. That's what it is all about.
All right, so everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Coach V Show as we feature the life lessons, success frameworks, and behavioral models, as you heard from your boy Gawtti from the Booyah Tribe, shared today. In that, I'm going to give him a minute to just do a final send-off, your final, and I'll close off the show, Brother Gawtti.
My final thing is, man, keep God first, like I said, keep family and culture, and much love to everybody, man. Alofa.
Yeah, man. Much alofa to you, Brother Gawtti. So in that, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Coach V Show, your personal development show in Hollywood from Dash Radio Studios, powered by the Island City Media Group, powered by and run by my boy, Joey Kinga. Shout out Q, and shout out also to Ammon Green, my boy, that Canadian Samoan up there in Seattle, soon to be coming down to Las Vegas as well. And for Brother Gawtti and for myself, it's just not for the sake of success that we ask that you consider some of the things it is that we're sharing. Should you find value in them, deploy it all over your life, leadership, and business, and you will see the things it is that you want. You'll become more effective and efficient in achieving, but also you will attract the things that you wanted to now chase and be attracted to you. This is how it is that we live here on the Coach V Show, all about faith and family, grateful for God's amazing grace. From your boy Gawtti out in Las Vegas, shout out to the 702 and your boy Coach V. Until next time, one love, mad respect, living. Peace.